Once upon a time, on a cold New Year's Eve, a poor little girl was wandering through the dark streets, barefoot and shivering. She had been trying to sell matches all day but hadn't sold a single one. Her tiny feet were red and blue from the cold, and her thin dress offered little protection against the biting wind. She found a corner between two houses and huddled there, drawing her small feet close to her body. She didn't dare go home because she hadn't sold any matches and feared her father's anger. Besides, her home was hardly warmer, with only a thin roof to keep out the cold. To warm herself a bit, she decided to light one of the matches. As she struck it against the wall, it burst into flame, and she held it close to her hands. In its light, she imagined herself sitting by a large iron stove, feeling its comforting heat. But soon, the match went out, and the stove disappeared. She lit another match. This time, she saw a magnificent feast laid out on a table, with a roasted goose, delicious fruits, and other delicacies. She reached out to grab some food, but the match went out, and the feast vanished. She struck a third match, and she found herself under a beautiful Christmas tree, adorned with lights and decorations. She reached out to touch the ornaments, but once again, the match went out, and the tree faded away. As she lit yet another match, she saw a vision of her dear grandmother, the only person who had ever been kind to her but was now gone. Her grandmother looked at her with love and warmth, and the little girl pleaded for her to take her away. The match went out, but she quickly lit another and another, trying to keep the vision of her grandmother alive. Finally, in the brightness of the matches, her grandmother reached out to her, and they embraced. Together, they began to rise up into the sky, far from the cold and hunger, up to a place where there was no pain or sorrow. The next morning, passers-by found the little match girl in the corner, huddled up with a smile on her face. She was cold and lifeless, holding the burnt-out matches in her hand. But in her final moments, she had found warmth, comfort, and love. And so, the little match girl found peace and happiness in a world beyond, where she was finally safe and loved.